Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our first product update in the new year. We have a lot of exciting things to show you today, and we're excited to have you here with us. My name is Brian Meyers. I'm the Chief Product Officer at OneCloud, and joining me today is our Chief Customer Officer, Tony Scalese. As we go through the presentation, feel free to post questions at any time in the Q&A section, and we will get to them at the end. Before we dive into all the great content that we have for you today, I'd like to give a brief overview of the OneCloud platform for anyone that is new to OneCloud. The OneCloud platform enables business users to integrate data and automate actions in their applications. The platform is divided into two products, Integration Studio and Data Prep. Integration Studio sits in between all of your applications and orchestrates the movement of data in coordination with actions that may need to be taken in those applications. The processes that you automate in Integration Studio can be triggered by a variety of events such as schedules, on-demand execution, or even in response to events that take place in the applications that you have connected. Data Prep is our premier product for transforming and mapping data to prepare it to be loaded into your connected applications. It has an intuitive and Excel-like interface, so business users can immediately become productive while still providing extremely performant and powerful transformation capabilities. Together, these products provide an all-in-one solution for all of your integration needs. The first thing that we're going to cover today in our webinar is updates to the Integration Studio. We've made a variety of improvements to the platform, and I'd like to highlight some of the more popular requested features from our customers and partners. The first up is chain template folders. As many of you may know, we recently added the ability to create chain templates within Integration Studio, and this facilitates the ability to build chains that you would commonly use among different workspaces and environments, and just build a template that you can deploy and customize as you see fit. The second piece is the OneCloud Biz App. The OneCloud Biz App is actually a Biz App now within Integration Studio so that you can take advantage of all of the REST API endpoints that we've provided via OneCloud. I'd also like to highlight that we've increased our baseline API limit to 5,000 requests a day, as we've seen a lot of customers and partners getting a lot of use out of our API. So this can help you do even more actions at once. Lastly, I'd like to highlight our pivot and unpivot tabular data command. As you're moving data between your different systems, a lot of times you might have it in a format that's not compatible with your target system or coming out of the source system in a way that you need to pivot that data. And these two commands are going to allow you to create those pivot tables and aggregate data within the Tabular Transformations Biz App. Next up, we've added 6 new Biz Apps since our last webinar, as well as expand the functionality in our existing Biz Apps, which I'll dive into. One of the latest additions to the collection of Biz Apps is the Coupa Biz App. We've seen a growing demand for use cases such as procure-to-pay planning, supplier analytics, and optimized cash management. Coupa has a vast collection of APIs, and as we continue to explore more use cases, we'll be expanding our reach into that API and providing even more commands in the Biz App. Today in the Biz App, you can extract objects such as accounts, contracts, expense reports, invoices, payments, POs, and suppliers. After you pull this data, it can be pushed into many different systems within OneCloud, including planning systems like Anaplan and all of your general ledger systems. Recently, Anaplan released new functionality to their API, which is called the transactional APIs. We've adopted this new functionality into our Biz App and added commands for getting and setting the current period, retrieving view metadata, extracting cell data, and retrieving items and dimensions. We've also included even better error and warning messages for the Biz App, and in our upcoming release of the Biz App, we'll add more support for retrieving the workspace and model statistics. As Anaplan continues to expand on their APIs, we will continue to put those enhancements in our Biz App so that you can use them within OneCloud as well. Other expanded Biz App functionality that we've added is a write sheet data command for Workiva. Previously, we just had a command to overwrite an entire spreadsheet within Workiva. With this command, you're actually able to select a region within your spreadsheet and directly write data to that region while leaving all of the other cells in place. Another really exciting one is the enhancement to the create table command. Previously, when you were building out your tables within Workiva in the create table command, you had to have a finite set of columns and know those up front when building them in the Biz app. This can now be dynamic, and you can actually extract data from, for example, a relational database table and describe that table, and then use those columns as an output and pass that right into our create table command within Workiva. So that can be a dynamically driven command. On the Oracle EPM side, we actually now offer direct file movement between Oracle EPM cloud instances. So those files will move directly from system to system without having any ground touch point between either your cloud or ground runners. Lastly, in the Workday Biz app, we now support dynamic EIB integration, which means you can support pushing data directly to Workday without using SFTP. And you can use outputs from previous commands as you pull data within the Integration Studio and push that data directly into Workday. I will now pass this over to Tony Scalese to provide some more information on chain templates.
Thanks, Brian. A lot of great things. Obviously, we're keeping it really light because we've just got a limited amount of time. But if you want to know anything more about these, by all means, reach out to us anytime through the various channels that you have available for that. But I wanted to spend just a little bit of time talking about chain templates because to me, these are really a powerful feature of the platform that we're starting to see people think about using. And we've actually created some templates to help customers further on their journey of OneCloud. So what a template is, it's a way to standardize your deployment. So if you think about this from a center of excellence perspective, or if you think about this from an implementation partner perspective, how do I want to approach building an integration with OneCloud Integration Studio? How am I going to configure the different nodes or commands within my chain? And then can I reuse that? So if I'm in a center of excellence, I'm possibly supporting multiple business units with OneCloud, and I want to start to have them build their own chains, but I really want to control. These are kind of our leading practices for how we approach this. Well, this is exactly how you do this with chain templates. So that's that idea of standardizing the deployment. The other real benefit to templates is that it speeds chain creation time. We're actually going to show you this in a demo in a moment here, pre-recorded demo, but it's definitely a live interaction with how do I create a chain from a template? And you can see a chain that was created in just a matter of just a few clicks and how quickly that comes together. And then you can start to extrapolate, what does that mean for me as an implementation partner, as a customer, and how can I use these different things? The other cool thing about chain templates, and this is one of the exciting things that Brian's going to talk about a little bit later as we get into roadmap, is this idea of being able to share knowledge and expertise. We have a lot of cool things planned for chain templates that will allow the community as a whole to actually engage with one another. So that's really nice. And so we create some templates and we make those available, and we'll continue to add to that library and catalog. And so you as a customer can leverage our leading practices. And for the partners that are on the call, and there's a number of customers and partners on this call, thank you for joining. Love seeing you here. But the benefit to the partners is that you can create your solutions. So you can go into your customers and say, we've got a solution for this. It takes us just a matter of minutes to get it deployed for you, and it really start to create differentiation as well as standardization around how you're approaching things here. So if you want to learn more, you can see the web address there. Obviously, these slides will be available and the replay will be available on our website. So by all means, feel free to ask us any questions there and check out the documentation. So as I promised, a little bit of a quick demo here. This is recorded. This was a recorded demo, I should say. Obviously, we're recording the webinar as well. I'll ask Brian to stop at certain points so I can add in a little bit more flavor, but let's go ahead and get started. So chain templates, they're part of Integration Studio, and they've got their own menu. You may have noticed this. And then within here, you have this partner tab. And so the partner tab right now shows us what are the templates that OneCloud has created? And if you pause here, Brian, thank you. Here, we've got them grouped by folders, and this is going to grow and over time and be modified and start to really kind of hone in on use case. Right now, we've just got a few out here. But in this case, we have the idea of templates and snippets. A snippet is how do I do this one or two specific commands that it might be a little bit confusing to a new user to the platform. So we've given you kind of an example, or, hey, this is this little portion that you might use in a chain. And so this is a nice way to see those as snippets. But a template, as we've built them out here, is really, how do I address a particular business use case? And so in this example, we're going to show you how to create a chain from a template to see ground runner logs. So you can go ahead and continue on there, Brian. And so here, we've just jumped back into our build menu here. We're going to create a chain from the template, and we can browse the catalog this way as well. And when you browse it this way, you can see that you obviously have the nice descriptions that we've provided to help you understand what this particular one does. So here again, we're going to create the ground runner, the collection mechanism to get the ground runner logs through a chain. And then we continue on. Let's give this chain that we're going to create from the template a name. Where do we want to deploy it? So it's going to be in the webinars workspace, in our development environment. And then we have this idea of template variables. And a variable allows you to create a template so that you're not setting something that's specific for a given deployment, but it's the concept. And we talk about this in great detail in our knowledge base. But here we're just mapping from those template variables to components within OneCloud Integration Studio. In this case, largely chain variables. We've also got some dynamic variables in this particular chain here. And then lastly, now we don't have connections and templates, but when we convert it to a chain, we obviously need a template. So we're going to map all of the different commands that were used here to a reciprocal connection and runner. And so just like that, from a template, I've deployed a chain. And so if you saw it during the video, it went fast. Again, we're a little short on time here, but we deployed some chain variables. So now we're just going to populate these. These could be workspace variables, so you wouldn't even have to do this after the fact. But for the sake of this demo, we use chain variables where we're going to send an email to customer success from demo at OneCloud with the logs attached. And then it's the typical process for building a chain. So we publish it, and now we can simply execute that chain that's been deployed from a template. And so we'll see this, it's going to run. It gave me a runtime prompt, another nice feature of Integration Studio. And you can see my chain runs there. And when I get down to the bottom, it's already done. Chain ran in 4.4 seconds, but you can see we deployed a fully working chain in just a matter of a couple of clicks. Really powerful feature. So if you haven't learned about templates, by all means, please hit our knowledge base as well as ask us any questions. So moving on. OneCloud Data Prep. I know some of the folks on the call have seen this, others haven't. So I just want to take a quick moment to tell you a little bit about it. So OneCloud Data Prep, it's really goes to our mission of allowing integration to be a business-owned activity. Integration Studio is fantastic at the E and the L of ETL, where a business user can own and operate that process to get data out of a system and load data into another system. We realized that there was a tremendous need to have that transformation component of ETL also be business owned. And so this gives us that ability to do transformations to the data and allow us to make sure that our data is consistently harmonized and that the relationship between the different systems is something that a business user can own and maintain. So some of the really cool features and powerful features of the platform, if we continue on in our slides here. So great features. We've got a number of pre-built transformations that address common needs, the things that I need to do most often. But we were understanding that as much as we'd like to hit every single use case that we can think of, there's always going to be something that we haven't thought of, or something that's very specific to you as a customer. So with Data Prep, we've also embedded the ability to use Excel formulas to help in that transformation journey. Now, that I think is really a game changer, because if I can articulate that need in an Excel formula, I can do it in OneCloud Data Prep, and I don't need to deploy Excel to anywhere to do this. It's embedded into the platform. On top of that, we have these really powerful mapping capabilities that give us the ability to do one-to-one relationships, many-to-one, and even many-to-many relationships. Really great there. But we took that even a step further and we said, we understand that as a business user, you're often creating mapping roles that are somewhat tied to a calendar. So at the end of the year, we're going to have a reorganization, and this is going to be our new reporting structure starting in January 1. Or we've got a merger that's happening on September 1st, and we have a new mapping relationship that needs to come into play. So we have the ability to time date these maps and say that for this range of time, this is the transformation or mapping that applies, and then a different one that applies for a different point in time. And then we wrap all that together with the ability to share that across different integrations, where I can take one set of maps and share it across 8 different integrations and not have a dependency to share any other mapping that I've defined. And so really powerful features that really address those business challenges that we've seen out there. So if that sounds great to you, or if you've started with data prep and you want to know more, one, it integrates seamlessly with Integration Studio. We've got a OneCloud Data Prep Biz app. It quite simply says, run a data prep process and give me back my transformed data. Works just like all the other commands in OneCloud Data Prep, inputs and outputs. If you want to go through our learning management system, Data Prep, intro course is free to all customers, partners, and trial users. And then if you are new to the platform or you're thinking about joining the platform, all trials have data prep enabled. Existing customers, by all means, we're happy to grant you a trial the same way we were able to do that with OneCloud Integration Studio. We can do the same with data prep. Just reach out to us. A couple of email addresses there, sales@OneCloud or customer success@OneCloud. All right. And then just lastly, I mentioned it before, OneCloud Integration Academy. This is something that we've been working on and continue to work on, but it's a learning management system that provides online self-paced courses. So you don't have to worry about signing up with a classroom and does it fit into your schedule or doesn't it? You simply choose when you work through the course, and you can do it. You can spend an hour on it and step away and come back and spend 30 minutes, or you can spend the whole block of time. But they're narrated courses with slide decks. There's exercises that really reinforce the learnings, reference videos that help you understand in case something didn't quite make sense. Let's see it in action. And then to really test your knowledge, there's quizzes embedded. So when you get through a course, you get a certificate, something that you could post onto LinkedIn. It's just a nice way to show, look, I'm continuing my professional development. Again, all trial or licensed users of the platform, this is available to you, as well as our partners. And if you aren't part of our learning management system yet today, simply visit onecloud.io/training. And from there, you can just fill in a quick form, and we've got a process built that will get you provisioned into there. So with that, I want to hand it back to Brian. Thank you very much, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Tony. Yeah, chain templates and data prep are two products we're really excited about. We've seen some great use cases and usage by customers and partners already, and we're really excited to see how many more use cases you guys can come up with as we continue to add new features. So diving into what's coming, let's discuss some of the feature roadmap items for data prep and Integration Studio. As far as Integration Studio, on our short-term roadmap, we're going to be launching an Excel Biz app. We'd love to hear more and more feedback about what you would like to see in this Excel Biz app. But we'll be able to do things like list worksheets, export sheets to a CSV, or even take CSV files and push them into a workbook within Excel. So this will be great. I know a lot of you are using Excel sheets out there and want to get those into your integrations within OneCloud. So we'll be adding that to the platform shortly. As our video showed, we were able to create a chain from a template. We're actually also going to be adding the ability to create a template from a chain. So for any of you who have built chains that you might have said, man, I really wish that this was a template and then I could deploy this across my different workspaces environments, you're now going to be able to do that. We'll have a very, very similar wizard to what you saw for converting a template to a chain. And you'll be able to take those chain and workspace variables and the various aspects of your chain and convert them into template variables. Lastly, we're going to be adding native integration to communication platforms such as Slack and Microsoft Teams. As many of you probably know, we do already have connectivity to Slack, but we're going to be enhancing that and actually conforming that between the different systems that we integrate, like Microsoft Teams and other communication platforms. This will provide the ability to get up-to-date notifications in real time on chain failures, or if there's certain chains that you need to know when they're done so you can continue your other work. This will enable all of that, including the ability to provide reports via these communication platforms. Moving on to data prep. As many of you have been using this product, we've heard you and see the need for using variables within data prep. There's 3 types of variables that we're going to be launching in our release with data prep variables. Those are system, which are analogous to the system variables that you see in Integration Studio, things such as the current date time, the pipeline ID, various metadata aspects such as that. We'll also be adding runtime variables. So you'll be able to define variables on your pipelines and your mapping groups. And when you actually execute that pipeline via the command line or via a chain in OneCloud, you can provide values to kind of make your mappings and all of your transformations a bit more dynamic, as we've seen a need to kind of do that as you've been building them out. Lastly, in your mapping rules as well as your transformations, you'll actually be able to use column variables. So what does that mean? If you're providing a transformation to a column, or let's say you're creating a mapping rule where you actually want to make the new value of a certain column in your tabular data set be the value of another column that's in that row, that's what a column variable is. So you'll be able to insert those as the mapping group runs. Lastly, in the pipeline preview, we're going to be providing a little widget so that you can see the aggregation results. And what I mean by that is you'll be able to see the outcome of the sum ifs as well as the sorting on your sampled data sets that you provide in pipelines. One big announcement we have that's going to be coming in the second half of this year is building your own biz apps. So up until now, OneCloud has been building biz apps and adding them to the platform. And we've actually really prided ourselves on how quickly we're able to develop these and get them into our customers and partners' hands. But we do see a need, and many of you have asked for the ability to create your own biz apps. So we're going to be opening up this new product and platform to our partners and customers. And this is going to give you the ability to build your own biz apps in a no-code solution. So absolutely no coding experience will be necessary, and the UI and interface will be very intuitive, just as all of our other products are. With this change and the new kind of biz app structure, we're going to be enhancing the authentication patterns to reduce API calls. So for some biz apps, there are cases where we need to authenticate every time a command is run. We're going to be centralizing that authentication to a single place so that we can cut down on authentication calls, which will in turn increase performance of your chains. The new platform that we're building here is going to enable quick biz app development via open API specifications. So what this means is that a lot of public APIs now are described in what's called an open API specification. And this is a document that describes all of the different endpoints and their parameters, et cetera, for that API. And our new product is going to be able to ingest that document and immediately produce a biz app with commands for all of the different endpoints and operations that you can perform against that API. So it'll really streamline development, and we'll be able to build biz apps even faster than we do today. Another side note that's going to be coming with this is more uniform command logs and command event logs. So right now, the different biz apps can sometimes differ in the way that they present information to you, the user. We're going to be conforming all of those to the same strategy and layout, so that it's all familiar between all the biz apps, and you know exactly where to look for the information that you're trying to retrieve as the chain runs. I'm going to pass it over to Tony to tell you guys about some of our upcoming events.
Excellent. Thanks, Brian. So hopefully everybody's excited. We've been working really hard on some really great features that we've obviously already brought into the platform, and some really, really powerful ones that are coming. The ability to build your own biz apps is just really exciting for us. A couple of upcoming events that we've got here. For those of you in our webinar today that are Anaplan customers or watching this, we want to give you some, how can I use OneCloud to support my Anaplan integration? So we've got a webinar coming for that, just some tips and tricks, think of it that way. And then at Kscope, which is the Oracle EPM and BI conference that usually occurs in June. It's occurring in June this year. It's generally in person. This year it's virtual, but we'll be speaking actually with one of our customers there and how they're using OneCloud across their entire enterprise, and how it's helping them achieve that connected enterprise. Really great story of connecting the general ledger, the performance management applications, business intelligence, and even document repository. So if you get a chance, particularly if you're in the Oracle EPM space, by all means, please check out that particular presentation. And then lastly, if you don't do so today, follow us on LinkedIn. We're making a concerted effort to make sure that we're updating the community through that channel. So thank you for joining us today. With that, I want to jump over to any questions that we might have. Just taking a look through, give me a moment to read here. So one of the questions is, I'll read it back. This is great about the builder. I know with Anaplan, you connect on each request. Looking forward to this. So basically that's a comment. Yes, the improved efficiency of the calls through the API will certainly bring a lot of benefit there. Person has a question here of, are there any materials about OneCloud that we can share with the team? Absolutely. I'll post an answer into the chat here, or to the Q&A here, but our website has a wealth of materials, and one in particular, if we go to the website itself, is the Ultimate Guide to the Connected Enterprise, which we found under Why OneCloud in the header there. This is a great way to really learn about the capability of the platform, where we're not drilling into technical detail, but more we're talking about the discipline of connecting the enterprise. And then we've got one last question here. It's outside of the scope of the presentation here, in the person's words, but they said, can OneCloud loop over a list of items? And absolutely. So this is actually, we've got a nice article in our knowledge base here. So if you go to help.onecloud.io, or if you're in the application itself and you click on the little question mark that's up in the header and click knowledge base, I believe it is, here you can actually search for things. So if you search for iteration, just simply that, you can see the third one there, how to use the CSV to JSON command and iterate over the results. This will give you, a guided step through here. The knowledge base is really powerful, and we spend a lot of time making sure that this is updated and then we're adding to it and growing it. So by all means, folks, if you're not familiar with it today, get familiar with it. You're gonna discover so many great things about the platform that you may not have known. Our job is to help keeping you educated, and so we have a commitment to keeping that updated. So with that, we're at time here. I think we've hit all the questions. Let me do one more quick check. And we have. So thanks so much, everybody. Appreciate the time today, and hopefully you enjoyed the update.